Hey friends, good morning. It's Crystal. I'm coming at you from Zone 8B in the Pacific Northwest. I thought today we could do something a little bit fun. Let's do an experiment. Um, yeah, let's keep with the name Experimental Homestead and let's do an experiment. For those of you who don't know, I'm actually a scientist. So I am a scientist and I like to do experiments. And so I was kind of thinking of one that would be kind of fun to do. I got this dehydrator about a month ago. It is epic. It is such a great dehydrator. It is an Excalibur 9 tray dehydrator. I have a link in the description below if you're interested. But it's this big box and it has a fan at the back and then these drawers that are removable. And because the drawers are removable, it allows for so many more opportunities than, your typical countertop dehydrator. It does take up a lot of space, I will be honest with that, but it does so much. I use it for proofing breads, rising my sourdough starter, um, making yogurt, fruit leathers, regular dehydrating, defrosting things, anything. Because the drawers are removable, I can put whole quart mason jars in there. I can put an entire bread proofing basket. It's so cool. It's a good product. But we've been using it a lot for fruit leathers. I make a lot of fruit leathers and just dehydrating fruit. We've been trying different fruits since we got it, and we really like bananas. They're really good. And if you buy a banana, dehydrated bananas or banana chips in the store, they're crunchy. And what I've learned is that that crunch is coming from frying. You're frying the bananas. So they're not just straight up dehydrated. I mean, opposed to the ones that are freeze dried. You get a crunch with freeze dried fruit as well. But yeah, so when I first started dehydrating bananas, they were chewy, like like banana jerky. Can I say that? Yeah, it's kind of like a beef jerky, but it's banana. So it's kind of a different sort of chewy texture, but still delicious. But I wanted to try something because there's different dipping methods that come in the recipe book that came with my Excalibur has different dipping methods. So I haven't really been dipping my bananas often because if it's not going to make a huge difference, then I'm not going to put the time in. And so I haven't been doing anything, just slicing up the bananas and putting them inside the dehydrator. But if you use like lemon juice, lime juice, pineapple juice, or any sort of anti-oxidizing products, like I have a Bernardin or Ball canning fruit preserver that stops oxidation. And then you can also honey dip them, which sounds like you're adding sugar, but I'm interested in trying it because apparently it can help get some of that crunch back, and so it's less like banana jerky. So I thought it'd be fun to do an experiment around the dehydrator full of bananas. Let's go bananas. And we can run a couple trays that have nothing on them. We can run a couple trays that have either lemon or lime juice. Both. I got both. We can run with the actual anti-oxidizing agent, which I will double check to see what that is. Might be citric acid or something else. I'll double check. And then we can also do a couple that are honey dipped to see if there actually is a difference. Okay, guys, I got the kitchen all set up. 1 cup of warm water with a quarter cup of lemon juice, a cup of warm water with a quarter cup of lime juice, and this one is a cup of warm water with an eighth of a cup of this here. So this is the Bernardin Fresh Fruit and Vegetable Protector that prevents browning. It has sugar, ascorbic acid, citric acid, and silicon dioxide, which is an anti-caking agent. So yeah, we'll try that and see how it goes. And then of course, over here, I am currently dissolving 1 cup of sugar and 1 cup of honey into 4 cups of water. I didn't need this much. I wish I would have half the recipe, honestly, because that is like liquid gold in here with all the honey that's in here. So I have regrets, but hopefully it's really good. So while that's dissolving, I need to clear out my dehydrator because I had it going all yesterday. So this is new to us. This is dehydrated mango from frozen mango. We like different fruits in like yogurts and oatmeals and stuff. So I'm just gonna throw this in here. Okay. Yes, my hands are washed. Don't do everything on camera. That would just mean a long video and not very interesting. Yum, those are good. These are the fruit leathers I made yesterday. They're so good. We go through them a lot. Yeah, they're fun to make too. So I have 7 trays worth of fruit roll-ups here. I'm not gonna roll them because I just found that was more wasteful than I wanted to be. So I just cut them up into little squares and throw them into a Tupperware. And yeah, there's a lot of parchment paper here. The Excalibur does come with Paraflex sheets that you can lay down and kind of use them like a perfectly fitted silicone mat, so you never have to have this much waste, and that's kind of on my list because this is just kind of ridiculous. Fruit leather. Okay, so I saved a couple of pieces from the fruit leathers because I wanted to write down which tray is getting which treatment. So I did that to kind of save waste. Anywho, I think we're good now. We can get started. So I have 9 trays. I was thinking about doing 2 lemon, 2 lime, 2 of this, 2 honey dipped, and then a plain to compare all of them. I also just realized that I have very few bananas. I could probably fit 3 bananas on a tray. And I'm looking at like just over 1 banana per tray, which is not ideal, but that's okay. I think I ate too many bananas this week. I like to use bananas that are yellow, maybe even a little bit brown, but not really the green ones. I will likely flip each banana, each slice, over during the dehydrating process, and then I will probably also at the same time rotate the tray so that the front is now the back and the back's not the front, since the fan is at the back. I like to do that to be more even. There we have plain. Next up is lemon. I think I'm going to let it sit in the lemon juice just while I get the next 2 bananas ready. Do you guys have any interest in seeing my dehydrator yogurt video? I actually made a video for this a few weeks ago, and then I'm so new to YouTube that I filmed on the wrong orientation, and so I wasn't able to really use it as a full-length video. But I've actually made yogurt probably 3 times since that now. It's so good. It's so good. I eat yogurt basically every day now, and I'm actually making it inside the dehydrator that I'm using. I'm making like 2 quarts like this every other week. Yeah, it's really good stuff. So if you want to see that, I also am making granola to go with it. So if you guys want to see that, let me know in the comments and I can redo that video because I was excited for it and then I was kind of let down. Okay, that's where I'm going in. Lemon. Lime. It's lime time. I will say for sure that this dehydrator has made it so we eat a ton of fruit now. Much better snack than like potato chips. Okay, there's lime. In she goes. I like to show you guys things that the dehydrator can do because, you know, all these homesteading channels are just riddled with like what you can do with a freeze dryer. And that's cool. If you can afford a freeze dryer, have at it. It sounds so cool. Way better than a dehydrator. So cool. But it's thousands of dollars. And that's not reasonable for most people. For the record, I do want a freeze dryer, so if I have a freeze dryer someday on this channel, it's because I worked hard for it. Okay, and it goes. For the record, I am hoping to hate the honey dipped because that is expensive, it's extra sugar. I'm just curious because they claim that it gives it more of a crunch, and if it does, that's interesting. I think I'll bring you guys over to my dehydrator and we can see if anything has oxidized yet. Okay, honey is ready. In the dehydrator it goes. Okay, welcome to the dehydrator setup. We have plain, surprisingly not as oxidized as I was expecting. We have a lemon. We have a lime. A honey dipped. And the citric acid. I've taken out every other drawer or so. Not necessary, but I did. These come all the way out. You can maybe see there's a fan back there as well. And yeah, so what we're going to do is we will, well, first of all, we can put the cover on. That's hard to do with one hand. There we go. And we will put it at the fruit setting, which is 135, so it is correct. And then I usually do 10 hours. Ooh, Okay, so that's it for today. I will come back tomorrow and we can see the result. Good morning. It is the next day and I have results. They aren't earth-shattering results. I was kind of expecting a bit more, but you get what you get. So these were in for probably 12 hours. I know I said 10 yesterday, but I think it actually ran for 12. And I did not end up flipping each individual one because the only ones I could get to flip were the plain ones with nothing on them. And I think that's because all the other ones had so much fluid still on them that they were kind of a mushy mess that was glued to the mesh. A mess glued to the mesh. And so I couldn't pull them off to flip them upside down, so I flipped the plain ones and then I rotated every single tray the other way around. So that's how it went. These guys here are the plain ones. If you can see all the other ones in the background, these ones look lighter in color. I will say that the outer rims of them are more like white, whereas the insides, like where the seed cavity is in the banana, is arguably darker. They're still like banana jerky, but they're delicious. This was an interesting one. This was the fruit preserver, the citric acid and ascorbic acid, and I don't know if it's really picking it up on this camera. It kind of did when I was down here. They're red. They have a red tint to them, and not only that, but they've kind of like this like fluid has like infilled the mesh in certain spots, so it kind of, you can see it down there. And it's just weird. Yeah, I'm not a fan. It has a red tint to them. Some of them have like a red like corona around them, and they are also still squishy. This lime one is kind of pretty, actually. Now that I look at it, they almost look matte in color, and so these guys as well, squishy, not crispy. I'll show you the lemon, but they really are the same as the lime. There's really not much of a difference. I'm curious to know if there's a taste difference. That's about it. Oh, that's hard to get off of there. Here we go. This is the honey dipped one. So this one is not matte. It's actually kind of shiny. It looks kind of glittery. And I think in general they look a little bit more brown, almost like the sugar on there has kind of colored up a little bit. But they are not crispy as they said they were going to be. As a matter of fact, this is actually incredibly sticky. So that could be a few things. I'm not going to say that that the honey dip doesn't work. I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say that I probably could have drained the liquid better, give it a few seconds, maybe even blotted it with a towel or something, because I think it was just too liquidy. And maybe they would have been different. I can see it's trying to do something with the way it's shimmering, but yeah, none of these are crispy. Even the smallest little pieces here are still squishy. And that's 12 hours. That's 12 hours in there. So everything has a similar texture, slightly different color, slightly different oxidation, slightly different outside rims. So I'm going to try the plain one. It tastes like a banana. It's actually not as chewy. It's still kind of soft inside, maybe. Maybe it needs longer than 12 hours. It's hard to believe because I've done it in the past with 10 hours, and yeah. This citric acid one. That's way chewier. Still really tasty, even despite all the red tint to it and what looks like residue from the fruit preserver. Doesn't taste any different. This guy is lime. You know what? That's actually pretty good. It's like barely different than the other ones, like taste wise. It tastes like a banana, but it does have a slight acidity to it that I think if someone just handed you a jar of them, you wouldn't know the difference. Like, it's not like, oh, it tastes like lime. No, it just has a slight acidity compared to the plain ones that you wouldn't notice by itself. This is lemon. Okay, that one was chewier, kind of like the citric acid one, but it had that same sort of like acidity top note to it, but again, not crazy noticeable. Okay, look how sticky that is. It's so sticky. Not crispy at all. It's chewy. I don't know, I kind of like the chewy texture anyway, so it doesn't really bother me. But that one is noticeably sweeter. And I don't need my fruit to taste like sugary enough. The point is to eat healthier. So it was like, if that was gonna make it like such a experience, then it's worth it. Maybe I'd try it again in the future. I say that I like lemon and plain the best. So I suppose it kind of comes down to which look do you like the more. These guys are laying really flat. These guys are not. They're kind of wild and crazy. So I don't know. I feel like for simplicity's sake, I didn't learn anything here. I mean, I probably still just do this because it's the easiest, but I might actually pull this out once in a while because they do look more uniform and pretty. Well, I'm gonna get these guys jarred up and on the shelf so I can enjoy them in some Greek yogurt. Yeah, I hope this was interesting to you guys. Let me know if you have any other experiments you want me to try. And as always, I just like to say that I'm new to YouTube, so your likes, shares, and subscribes mean the world to me. I look forward to the next video, and I'll see you then. Bye!